Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one. There is none like the Spirit of Truth. The Spirit of Truth, the living one, is what created everything. Okay? I'm backtracking here a little bit, Leviticus chapter 2, because I'm setting up a playlist on my channel so people can go to whatever chapter it is, find the book or the chapter that they'd like to read, book and chapter, and roll with me like that. I don't know why. I was pretty sure that I didn't miss any chapters, so we've missed Leviticus chapter 2 through 5. So we'll be backtracking for these next few lessons here. When this is the grain offering. When anyone brings a grain offering to the Lord, their offering is to be of the finest flour. They are to pour olive oil on it, put incense on it, and take it to Aaron's son, the priests. The priest shall take a handful of flour, oil, together with all the incense, and burn it. This is a memorial portion on the altar, a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. It is a most holy part of the food offering presented to the Lord. If you bring a grain offering baked in an oven, it is to consist of the finest flour, either thick loaves made without yeast and with olive oil mixed in, or thin loaves made with yeast and brushed with olive oil. If your grain offering is prepared on a griddle, it is to be made of the finest flour mixed with oil and without yeast. Crumble it and pour oil on it. It is a grain offering. Your grain offering is cooked in a pan. It is to be made of the finest flour and some olive oil. Bring the grain offering made of these things to the Lord. Present it to the priest, who shall take it to the altar. He shall take out the memorial portion from the grain offering and burn it on the altar as a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. It is the most holy part of the food offering presented to the Lord. Every grain offering you bring to the Lord must be made without yeast, for you are not to burn any yeast or honey in a food offering presented to the Lord. You may bring them to the Lord as an offering of the first fruits, but they are not to be offered on the altar as a pleasing aroma. Season all your grain offerings with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offering. Add salt to all your offerings. If you bring a grain offering of first fruits to the Lord, offer crushed heads of new grain roasted in fire. Put oil and incense on it. It is a grain offering. The priest shall burn the memorial portion of the crushed grain and the oil together with all the incense as a food offering presented to the Lord. Okay, the only thing that I'd have to say in this particular chapter, because I'm going to blow through these really quick, is that the Lord, again, is Yahweh, the self-existing eternal spirit. This is the God of Israel, okay? It's not the same God of the Gentile. The Gentile gods, the Trinity gods, and other gods are not of the Israelite God. You understand? There's a creation story taking place between two nations of people, and those that were created on the sixth day of creation are not, let me repeat, are not of the supreme spirit of truth, okay? Those of the bloodline of Adam and Eve were molded from the dust of the ground and had the breath of life breathed on them. That was not the case of any of those that are created in an image of God. Those that are created in an image of God are an illusion. They're phantoms, they're ghosts, they're demons, they're devils. Those created on the sixth day of creation are the Gentile nations. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. This is White Raptor News Ministries.